Hey guys, welcome to my channel and today I bring you 7 things you need to know about Cyberpunk 2077. If you liked it, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now check this out. And the first thing is that when starting the game, you will have the option of 3 backstories for V. Street Kid, Nomad or Corpo. Your choice will have 2 main impacts. First, it will affect the opening time of the game, as you will start in a different part of Night City, mixing with different characters, depending on which one to choose. The core begins in a commercial building, the Street Kid in a sleazy bar, the Nomad in the Badlands deserted outside Night City. About an hour later, you will end up on the same path as a gun for hire alongside your friend Jackie. The second, more lasting effect, is that you will get different dialogue options based on the background story you have chosen. I chose the core, which gave my V the ability to handle politics in certain difficult situations. In other words, your backstory doesn't make as much of a difference as you can worry about. And the second thing is that at the beginning of the game you can distribute points to 6 different attributes: body, intelligence, reflex, technical skill and cold. In each of these attributes, you will have advantages that you can unlock. At first, I spread attribute points and perks everywhere. I had an idea in my head that, like skill trees in most AAA games, I would eventually unlock all the advantages anyway. In fact, it is much better to choose from the beginning how you want to approach combat and adjust your attribute points and perks accordingly. Generally speaking, there are 2 ways to deal with combat: strength and stealth. But within that there are subdivisions. In strength, you can specialize in melee weapons, punches or shootings. In stealth, you can optimize your investigation, the cool attribute and related advantages that make it harder for enemies to detect you. Hack skills, you will hack nearby technology to distract harm enemies, or sneak killing offensive, like Naughty Pitch's daggers. I had to try to beat Cyberpunk 2077 and publish a review quickly, so I was forced to skip the side missions and focus on finishing the main storyline. I strongly recommend that you do not do this. The history of Cyberpunk is one of its strengths. The relationship between V and Johnny Silverhand, a mercenary played by Keanu Reeves tucked into V's head, gives a welcome focus. But Cyberpunk is about exploring Night City as much as seeing the narrative to the end. The game itself encourages this, prompting you to regularly take a break from the main mission to do other things. And this thing is good. The side missions are really fun, often more than the main missions. They are varied from controlling 7 AI-powered taxis that have become dishonest. This was one of my favorites, since dishonest taxis had personalities who were often legitimately funny, to solving the mystery of a dead mayor and becoming Night City as a living and extensive city. Just as important, doing more side missions will give you access to better endings. I finished the game in about 25 hours, some critics having done even less parallel research than I did in 15 to 20 hours, but it is clear from the end that I understood that there are many possible endings and that I got the worst. Do more side missions, then you will get more resolute and satisfying endings for V. This one is in a similar vein. There are fast travel points throughout the city that you'll be able to use, especially tempting when your objective is on the other side of Night City. Sometimes you won't have time to dilly-dally, but you'll often be rewarded for traveling via car or motorbike. There is so much to do in Night City, and you're bound to find something cool if you travel manually. Often you'll find multiple cool things, as I would find myself making regular stops on route to the next quest location after seeing this or that icon beckoning me on the HUD map. At a minimum, you'll often come across crimes being committed, with the Night City Police Department paying you if you break it up and apprehend, kill the perps. Fighting crime often also yields solid loot, so you're rarely left disappointed with the payoff. Apart from side quests, in which you'll help a character complete an overriding goal, there are gigs. These are more mercantile. A fixer will ask you to go do a job for them, like incapacitate an enemy, sneak to a hideout and place a tracker on a vehicle, or take an at-risk ally from one place to another. You are a gun for hire. After all, these are fun and often challenging, and won't take more than 10 or 20 minutes. You'll need money in Cyberpunk to buy cars, new weapons, and various upgrades, and so far I've found doing these gigs is the best way to make it. There's definitely some kind of get-rich-quick scheme in the game, but I've not found it yet. Just a quick thing to note. You absolutely can fail side quests and never get a chance to redo them. The first time I experienced this, I was midway through a quest revolving around a killer trying to seek forgiveness from the mother of the dude he killed. Toward the end of the quest, one of the dialogue options I had was, "Alright, I've seen enough," or along those lines. I thought it was a cool reverse psychology trick, so I chose it. Nope, my patron just said, "Okay, fine," and the quest ended. No do-overs. This is the same for challenges. One gig had me taking part in a shooting contest, with a special rifle being the top prize. I came second and got nada. There was no option to redo it. I just lost, and that was that. As you can tell, choices matter in Cyberpunk 2077. This is especially true in the main story. Don't go into the game with the impression that your choices make small cosmetic differences only. How you react and how you go about completing missions can have a drastic effect. I found this out early. In the opening section of the game, you're tasked with getting a piece of military tech from a gang and given the option to meet with an operative from the mega corporation from which the tech was stolen. When I demoed the game back in June, I didn't bother meeting the operative and as a result had to blast my way out of the gang's hideout. When I played through this time, I did meet the operative and as a result her corporation's forces had a shootout with the gang, leaving me to scurry away more easily. The result was a completely different experience, and I suspect the same is true for basically every mission, and in more drastic ways. Keep this in mind when you play, your decisions matter. See you in 2077, Elon Musk tweeted with a wink last year as he unveiled his Tesla truck, beginning to speculate that the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX would appear at Cyberpunk 2077. I was fortunate enough to review the game due for release Thursday, and it didn't take me long to locate a background character who looks a lot like Musk. At the beginning of the game, you have a choice of 3 backstories for V, the main character. You can make V a nomad, a street kid or a body. Your choice affects how the game opens and changes the dialogues available. Having tried Street Kid when I demoed the game earlier this year, I sold everything and became a corporate player. The Cyberpunk 2077 game is amazing, and I really love playing it, and if you also liked Cyberpunk, leave like in the video and subscribe to the channel to help. Thank you so much for watching so far and see you in the next video.